Hello guys, I'm Futureal. I stream 5 days a week over on twitch.tv/Futureal, and in this video it's time to test the Druid from the Project Diablo 2 Season 5 hardcore servers. This is the beta test, and in this video we're going to test 4 builds because, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening for the Druid. We're going to test the Summon Druid, we're going to test Rabies Druid, we're going to test Fire Druid, and we're also going to test the Wind Druid. So this is going to be the only character that we are beta testing that we're going to do 4 builds with. So I hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, don't forget to leave a like and a subscribe, and also comment down below on how your season is going and what you are planning to play in the upcoming Season 5. Thanks so much for watching. Until the next time, take care, and I will see you soon. Time for the Druid, guys. One of my favorite builds. This is the build that I played in the first season, in Season 1, the Summon Druid. Quickly gonna go over the gear. So we get Andes, Fortitude, Laying of Hands, String, Gores, and an Ethereal Cranium Basher. I'm using Beast, Alders, Storm Shield, Enigma, Mara, Tranquils, BK and SOJ Rings, Arachnids, and Waterwalks, Life and Res, Small Charms, Skillers, Torch and Annihilus. And of course we have a Lidless and CTA on swap. The build is debatable. It basically comes from the usage of Enigma or not. You can build this build with this character without Enigma and use Gust, but I found at this high level, at level 95, there is not enough points to max all the summons with Heart of the Wolverine, like we have done. Get 1 point in Solar Creeper for the mana regeneration. You are only going to be left with 1 point. And 1 point in Gust only gives you about 3.4 second cooldowns on Gust, which is kind of clunky to play. Now, you can choose to, for instance, not take the Solar Creeper, save 3 points. You can then get your teleport down to like 2.9 seconds. But when you have to start taking points out of your main damage, even if it's just Heart of the Wolverine, I really think that in the end game, this build is better without Gust, with Enigma. But if you don't have the economy for that, or you want to do something different, you can absolutely skip the Enigma here and just take a couple of points in Gust if you are happy with that. So we have a 238% density River of Blood map. Let's jump down and see how it goes. So we do battle command, and then we summon everything. And then we buff everything up like that. So we have 2100 health with Beast. Unfortunately, on the battle on the beta servers, there is no corruptions. So you see, we only have 40 FCR at this point. You would like 48 for the 48 FCR breakpoint. It will help you with resummoning the Ravens and that sort of jazz when you're moving around. It's nice to have some FCR. I don't think you need to go for 99, but 48 is fine. And then we also have to remember to summon the Poison Creeper, or the Solar Creeper, I mean. So here we go. So the damage here is pretty damn good. We can just telestomp all this stuff, no problem. Do I think snapshotting is a good idea? No. I think snapshotting is a waste of time. You just wanna play the game. You don't want to sit in town and frickin' change your gear all the time just to get two extra skill points on your summons. And the majority of these summons, you're actually gonna keep recasting them anyway. Right? Because, okay, I want my bear over here. I want my bear here because there was archers here. Okay, so I summoned my bear over the wall. So you just end up like inserting your summons and resummoning them much more than you would think. At least I have found that to be the most efficient playstyle. So I don't think snapshotting is worth it whatsoever. Although there is a argument to there was an argument for snapshotting before. But now your summons actually die when they enter Rotma, Declone, Ubers. They get removed. So you can't actually benefit from snapshotting. That would be the only way. Like if you would snapshot before an Uber fight or something and buff them up to high heavens. But now they just disappear. So you can see here with the Poison Creeper or the Solar Creeper that we're using, we constantly have full mana. It's a very, very nice quality of life point. It's just one. Well, technically, it is 3 skill points because you have to get to the Solar Creeper. But in my opinion, at this high level, absolutely worth it. And it's also a very, very safe build, right? We're running Storm Shield with max block here, 75% block, and we have 42% damage reduction. So it's a very, very safe build. No, it's probably from poison damage, but I mean losing 400 of 2200 health is it's not really very drastical. It all depends on like how aggressively you want to play it, right? Because you can play this build ultra aggressively, like this. Like you can literally telestomp everything, just jump into the packs, like no fucks given. This build is actually strong enough to do that when you have the max block. But you're also going to be consuming a bit more potions, both in the form of health potions and the occasional rejuve here and there. But yeah, the build is absolutely strong enough to play in the super aggressive way with lots and lots of telestomping. So yeah, as you can see, build is very, very strong. As I also said before, I played this build in Season 1. I played this build to level 98 in solo maps. Yeah, it's a very, very cool build. One of my most favorite builds in the entire game. Maybe because you would never able to play this in Resurrected, but it's a very, very cool build. So if you want a super safe build that can deal with anything, you have amplified damage here, you have physical damage, you have cleave, you have cold damage. It's a very, very versatile build. You can pretty much kill anything with it. So the only thing I want to say though, it's not the fastest. I would say that this is a high B tier build, or it's a low A tier build when it comes to efficiency. Although the entertainment value from this build, being able to do everything in the game, is very, very high. So this is one of my favorite builds in PD2. So check out the Summon Druid, guys, if you're interested, and we're going to jump over to the next build. Time for the second Druid build of this video. It's going to be the Fire Druid. And we have the Infinity Mercenary over here, and these Templar, Laying of Hands, String, and Gores. My character is using Call to Arms, Lidless, Hardy Oak, Storm Shield, Q Hagens, Ravenlore. We need a 9 FCR Amulet here to get to the 99 breakpoint, because we don't have corruptions on the beta servers. On live, If you get your 10 FCR more on either gloves or belt or a ring, you can go with either of these rings right here, Rising Sun for more damage, or maybe Maras for more resistances, depending on what you need. Waterwalk, SOJ, Wisp, Arachnid's Mesh, and Mage Fist. Inventory is Life Res, some Life Mana, Torch Annie, and we have some Elemental Skillers in here. The map we're going to test is a 285% density cow map with 30% increased life. So it's a pretty tough map. So let's see how that goes. So we boost up the summoned units first. Then we go Armageddon. And then we go here. So the damage here is pretty damn nice. I almost ran into that. Probably shouldn't have done that. But yeah, you can see the damage here is pretty damn sweet. Pretty safe build as well. We are playing max block. We have a solid amount of damage reduction. It's kind of spazzing out right now for some reason. Oh, it's because we have amp on us. But yeah, we have a solid amount of damage reduction normally. So it's very, very nice. Don't even feel like I need to have the Poison Creeper on this build when we're playing Q-Hagens with the mana after kill. But if you're going for like Viper Magi or maybe even like high-end, maybe even Enigma, to not have to gust, this build would feel even better. Now that I'm actually considering what that would do, I think I would actually prefer Enigma on this character. Mostly because if you see here what happens when I gust, I get a cooldown on Fissure. So I can't gust and immediately Fissure. There's a little cooldown. So if you want to go this build like high-end, I think I would actually skip gust here. Put that point maybe in Volcano Synergy. Get 20 FCR somewhere else, maybe from Belt or Gloves Corruption, maybe a ring, and use Enigma. Get that extra Magic Find, the extra strength. I think that actually might be better, because then you wouldn't have this annoying little delay on your major damaging ability. But you know, not everybody can afford Enigma, so I think that this is a good compromise for an endgame build. You see, it's slaying really, really hard here. It's a very, very tough map. Almost 300% density cow map with 30% increased health. And this build is dealing with it just fine at the 99% FCR breakpoint. But if you want to go more high-end, I think picking up the Enigma is correct. But I don't really feel like any need to test this anymore. It's just slaying across the board. Very, very nice build. I have considered playing this in PD2 before. I was impressed with the build in Season 4 as well. So yeah, this is a very, very cool build. So absolutely worth to play this build if you want to play Druid. No, it wasn't Trax, it was a random pair of boots. But okay, TLDR, very strong build. Pretty tough map that we're doing right now. You can definitely get more damage with, like, you see we only have one skill here. We don't have a skill on the shield. No FCR on gloves or rings or belt. So yeah, you can get better gear than this. You can even use a crafted mace, a caster mace with a bunch of skills on it, and sockets for more fire facets. So there's definitely ways of getting more damage on this build. So if you want to play Fire Druid, I think Fire Druid is in a pretty good spot right now. It's a little tough at level 80, but it unlocks as soon as you get your plus skills gear, and I think you will enjoy this build. Now let's test out the Wind build. So, third Druid builds out of 4, guys. It is the Wind Druid, and we are playing on Act 1 Mercenary with Wrath. So the Wrath, Giant Skull, Templars, random rare arrows or bolts, Length of Hands, String, and Gores. I'm playing CTA and Lidless on swap. Hardy Oak, Q Hagens. I haven't even put in sockets here. Steel Shade. We have a 1/9 FCR amulet because we need to reach the 99 breakpoint. On live, you would put that 9 FCR on either of the rings, on gloves, or on belt, and then you would probably use a Maras, or even just a 3 elemental, 90 life or something like that amulet, depending on what you can afford. Storm Shield with max block, because we are, of course, on hardcore. Life skillers, res and mana, health, charms, Torch and Annie. Pretty straightforward. The build is as follows. We have taken all the elementals, maxed them. 1 point in Gust, 1 point in Cyclone Armor. Nothing in Shape. And we have 1 in Oak Sage, 1 in Solar Creeper, and 1 in Summon Grizzly. So you see we're left with a lot of points. There is an incentive here to skip the Q Hagens completely and go for Enigma, because you see that there isn't really anything to put in these sockets other than like extra damage reduction with a Burr Rune or extra Jaw Rune for health, maybe mana per kill, life per kill, but you get a lot of that stuff from the vines, the Karen Vine and the Solar Creeper. So just check it out yourself. There is many ways of building this character. You can use Earthshaker, you can use Horizons. There's a lot of stuff you can use. No, not Earthshaker. Horizons Journey. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, the unique legendary mallet. So yeah, there's many ways to put this up. I think that what I would say is use Steel Shade, Storm Shield, and Water Walks on hardcore. Get these 3 pieces, and you can play around with the rest. I would of course recommend the Arachnid's Mesh as well. It is vastly superior to everything else, and then you can play around. You can do like BKs. You can even use other rings to get like rare rings for stats, res, whatever. But of course the skill rings will be preferred. So yeah. So there's a lot of stuff you can do. We can actually emulate that we have a Canopy Frozen Water Walks here by just slapping in a Cham Rune here. So I'm not going to fill the sockets because some of these sockets might be used for getting more mana per kill, life per kill, that kind of stuff. It's very, very strong on this build. So we have a 256% density cow map right here, with also 16% increased maximum life. So we're going to go here. I'm going to show you how you do this. Just buff up with Battle Command, and then we're going to see here you need 30 points in Gust. So with Battle Command, you can click in the last remaining points to have the 0.5 cooldown, which is the fastest. Nothing in Shape, and you're pretty much free to do whatever you want with the remaining points, no matter what they are. You can go more Bear, you can go more Oak Sage. I'm just going to pick Oak Sage because I know my damage is going to be good enough. So I'm just going to dump my points in Oak Sage here. So let's summon the stuff. Everything is out. Hurricane, and let's go. So the Wrath Bow from the Mercenary is really, really good for proccing Amplify damage. The uptime on Amplify damage from Wrath is immense. In my opinion, This is, although, the only build where I would use it, because I prefer the high-hitting, the high-damage mercenaries over the Act 1 mercenary. But for the purposes of this character, since this character does so much damage on its own, I think the Wrath Bow on Act 1 mercenary is probably the best way of doing it. I really like this build. It's very fast. It's a lot of fun to play. Very engaging. You are fairly safe. You know, you have max block. You have 34% damage reduction with Storm Shield, and we haven't even put in all of our sockets yet, and we're playing at 2,500 health. So this build is it was mentioned in the chat right here. It feels smoother than the fire build. That I will say. I do like the fire build as well. It's high damage. It's a lot of buttons to click. It's fun, but this feels a little bit more fluent to play. It's a little bit more enjoyable play style for me, at least. I'm gonna say that. So I will rank this build slightly above the fire build. Not to say that the fire build is bad at all, but this is very nice. This is very, very nice. Be careful of the concentrate over there. Don't underestimate concentrate, guys. That's gonna give you a first-class ticket to the restart simulator. But this is very, very nice, and you can see the vines are doing work. The vines are doing work, guys. Look at that health regeneration we have. Our mana hasn't moved under 90%. So those two vines are just absolutely worth it for the quality of life and the how easy it is to just keep going. There's nothing holding you back. Great damage, great crowd control, great resistances, great damage reduction. It's really, really good. So yeah, fantastic build. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Check out the Wind Druid. It's very, very nice. And as you saw, we don't have the craziest gear. You can absolutely play this without Enigma. We don't even have runes in here now. So it doesn't need to be an expensive build to be good, this one, guys. But that was the Wind Druid. Very, very strong. So far, I think this was the strongest Druid build at this particular gear level with a mapping. Closely followed by the Fire Druid, of course. So let's check out Rabies. Okay, we are here with the fourth and last Druid build from the Season 5 beta servers, and this is the Rabies Druid. I've been testing this a little bit with the guys in the chat here. It's a very, very strong build. So the core of this mercenary is an Act 1 mercenary with Vigor, so that we can run, because we don't have Enigma. Plus Spitter for the lower res, and as much attack speed as you can, so that she will proc that as often as possible. I chose to go with just Templars, Giant Skull. Like, she doesn't really care what gear you have on her. You need some life leech, you need some damage reduction, and you need as much IS as you want. With Pus Spitter, I think you need 152 attack speed to reach the top breakpoint. Character is using CTA and Lidless. We are using Cerebrus Bite because we don't need the res. We have plenty of res. We don't need the res from Jalal, so we're using Cerebrus for the massive attack rating buff. Maras for res and skills. Bramble, even a poorly rolled Bramble we are using here. Waterwalks for faster block rate. Life Dex, very, very good. Arachnid Smash for the skill, slowing target. SOJ and BK. Venom Grip for the poison skill damage. We have a Storm Shield for damage reduction. We are on hardcore, remember that. And here is the biggest surprise for me. Let me not take the Arachnid's Mesh off. That wasn't intended. This baby right here, let me move it so you guys can see it better. This is a 4 open socket, 6 skilled Rabies Plague Bearer with 4 facets in it. This is actually worse than Grief. I know, it sounds strange, but we have tested it for about 30 minutes now in 2 different maps. And the Plague Bearer is worse than Grief. Now, I want to say that you can probably get a cheap Plague Bearer for almost nothing, right? A 4 skill or a 5 skill, maybe with a crappy corruption or like 1 socket. And you can definitely use it as your starter weapon. But I am a firm believer, after having tested this build, that Grief is better. One thing you need to know with Grief is that you need 35 attack speed or higher to reach the fastest attack speed breakpoint, because you will only get attack speed from weapon in Project Diablo 2. Not like Resurrected, where you can get attack speed from gear. Inventory, Life and Res, Torch Annie, and Life Skillers. There is also an incentive here to go with Poison Large Charms. I just couldn't bother to roll for them. I didn't really know exactly which one will do the most damage. These was just easy obtainable on the beta server, so I just gave myself nine Shape Skillers. But let's go over the build. Let's go over the build, and it is fairly simple. I have some comments to come with. So we have nothing in Elemental. You could potentially invest 2 points to get Cyclone Armor. I chose not to. In Shape, you would max Lysanthropy, Feral Rage, and Rabies. That's the core. And also Poison Creeper. That's the Rabies spell fully buffed up. Because you are using Grief, we also figured out that having 1 point in Fury for boss damage is really, really good. I took all the creepers because they can't die, so this is mana and health sustain. These two, they don't die, they're alive forever. It's very, very good. If there's one thing that I would possibly change in this build after having tested it, particularly in River of Blood that we are going to show you guys now in a minute, I would probably skip the bear. The bear just has a tendency to die. Even though he was really good in the cow map, he soaked up a lot of damage because that's physical. But as soon as there's spell damage in the map and potentially archers, the bear dies after just a couple of seconds, and it just becomes a hassle to keep resummoning him. So if you're going to do a lot of maps with ranged creatures, maybe skip out on the bear, save yourself 4 points, just have 1 in Oak Sage, and then you dump the remaining points in Werewolf. So we could potentially have 4 more points here in Werewolf. So we would be... Yeah, we would probably be 1 point off, plus 21. Yeah, no, that would actually be max, I think. Yeah, we would actually max out the build at level 95. So it's a very, very cool build. And I have cleared half of River of Blood because I really wanted to show you guys the boss damage with only 1 point in Rabies. Or 1 point in Fury, I mean. So this, I have done 1/2 of River of Blood. So we're going to do the boss at first, then turn around, and I'm going to show you how the build deals with trash mobs. So we just go down. Excellent change that you now can you can reapply buffs in shapeshift form. So you use Feral Rage as you would use Frenzy on a Barb to keep your movement speed and attack speed buff up. So you just run in, put that on, swap to Rabies, just dot and run. Dot and run. There you go. And everything is just gone. Everything is just gone. The damage from this build is incredible. And here is that guy. Okay, Rabies. No, Fury. So this is Fury, guys. This is pure Fury. Look, Mom, no hands. So this single target damage from Fury, even only with 1 point, is pretty damn good. We made short work of that guy. Keep your attack speed buff up. Spread your Rabies. And this is just gonna melt. Yeah, that was that. That's the entire room. So let's do some more packs over here. So you just dot and run. That's all you do. It's a little bit annoying in a confined space like that, because you can't really run. Look at this damage. Incredible. And this was by many deemed as one of the tougher maps for this build. I specifically asked for the chat to give me the toughest map that they could think of for a Rabies build. And this is what they came up with. And there's the lower res proc. The damage is absolutely unbelievable. This is a very, very cool build. And we're playing it on hardcore, guys. This is not a softcore build. This is a max block storm shield with 24%, well, actually more. We have over 40% damage reduction, because now we were cursed. But yeah, you get the point, right? Yeah, we have 57k Rabies damage. So we just dot and run. That's it. Unbelievable damage. So if you guys have been wanting to ever play Rabies Druid, if you have tried Rabies Druid before and it wasn't that good, trust me, this is the season to play Rabies Druid. My goodness. The damage of this character is absolutely unbelievable. I had a blast playing this character. I hope that if you are going to play Druid this season, you will consider playing the Rabies Druid. It's very, very nice. Thank you so much for watching this Rabies or Druid video. And yeah, take care. I'll see you on the next one.